episode, Caring for Our Natural Hair. We celebrate those phenomenal hands with the ability to grab a mix of worries, dreams, and our roots and create something magical. That's right, we're celebrating our hairstylists, those who make many sacrifices that we never address. And they listen to us in a way that we don't often get to experience anywhere else. Let's talk about it right here on Sistahs on Sacred Grounds. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Sistahs on Sacred Grounds, and I am Reverend Stephanie Butler Adams. Listen, we have been talking about the Crown Act. That's right, we've been talking about women and their hair. You know, they say that your hair is your glory, but it's also a Black woman's crown. Sometimes it's even our signature. So we're going to continue the conversation today with part 2 of Please Don't Touch My Hair. All right. And to do that, I am so excited. I have the perfect women to have the conversation with. I have some of Southern California's finest stylists ever. All right. But before we meet them, let's take a look at the journey, the evolution, and sometimes the revolution of the Black hair experience. Let's take a look. The first wave of the natural hair movement in the 60s was tumultuous. The Black is Beautiful movement assured Black women and men that their facial features and their hair was admirable as is. Jamaican activist Marcus Garvey encouraged Black women to embrace their natural kinks, arguing that copying white Eurocentric standards of beauty denigrated the beauty of Black women. He said, "Don't remove the kinks from your hair, remove them from your brain." U.S.-born activist Angela Davis sported her afro as a sign of Black power and rebellion against white American beauty standards. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 ended segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination. But it also created the EEOC, that is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which operates as the lead enforcement agency in the area of workplace discrimination in the United States. Soon, wearing afros became a weapon in the fight for racial equality, as well as public declarations of self-love and solidarity within the Black community. And then, in 1968, the iconic James Brown released his hit single, Say It Loud, which became a rallying anthem that encouraged Black people everywhere to embrace their Blackness and fight against unequal treatment.
Don't be ashamed of your heritage. Don't be ashamed of your color. Don't be ashamed of your hair. I am Black and beautiful.
The 90s were a golden era for Black pop culture with the launch of many iconic sitcoms with lead actors that influenced beauty standards. The shows made waves in the representation of Black people and created positive narratives around Black families, in particular Black women, who showed their worldwide audiences how to confidently wear a variety of hairstyles, from cornrows, braids, and twists to perms, wigs, and weaves. Black hairstyles were finding their way into the mainstream audiences, inspiring young Black women to wear their hair with pride. From movies to sports to the music industry, the trend in Black hair could not be denied. So many prominent, influential Black women on global stages, in media, entertainment, and politics, who are shaping their own narrative and defining their own sense of beauty, intellect, and creativity from the inside out. Hey, everybody. So now, let's meet our guests. I was born to braid. That's how Clauzelle Fredeling describes what she says is just one of her callings. Her brand, is Phenomenal Hands, and she's a licensed natural hairstylist. As the mother of 4 daughters, Clauzelle had plenty of practice braiding hair, which she started in her home in 1993. She quickly realized her passion and her gift for hair artistry, entered and graduated from Citrus College Beauty School, and began building a reputation throughout upscale salons across Pasadena and Los Angeles, California, for her unique skill and approach to natural hair care and styling. In 2008, Clauzelle launched her own business, Phenomenal Hands Salon and Spa, and today she partners with Locks of Love Salon in the heart of historic and culture-rich neighborhood Leimert Park, a community known as the hub of African American art and culture in Los Angeles. Shendonna Moore, also known as Shen, has been a hair care practitioner and stylist serving Orange County, California for over 20 years. She believes that ensuring hair health is integral to her practice. Her salon, Shendonna's Hair Studios, takes pride in mastering the art of achieving the perfect color and style while maintaining the true essence of healthy hair. Shendonna is a certified trichologist whose mission is to serve her clients with knowledge, integrity, and excellent service. What's important to her? Inspiring people to appreciate their hair texture and growth by equipping every client with the right tools to help them maintain healthy hair. Shen's hair philosophy: I must find solutions to problems my clients didn't know they had. Today, when we talk about hair care, we're not just talking about your hair, but we're talking about how your hair makes you feel, how you show up, how you are present in this world. And for us as women, boy, oh boy, a lot of it rides on how we feel about our hair. So I'm excited to have these 2 beautiful women with us today here at Sisters on Sacred Grounds. First of all, my girl, Miss Clauzelle Fredeling, yes, from Phenomenal Hands and Locks of Love in View Park, California. What's up, girl? I'm so glad to see you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. And then we also have the one and only Shendonna Moore from Shenda's Hair in Orange County, California, and she is a trichologist. I am so excited because we got to learn, some of us can't even pronounce trichologist, okay? But we're going to learn what that is and why is it important. Ladies, thank you for being here with us today. I love seeing you. You look beautiful. All right, you look beautiful. And so we're just going to talk. We're going to talk about stuff that we want to talk about, okay? We're going to talk about the hair.
Nope.
Because this is your wheelhouse, right, ladies? Yes. Clauzelle, how long have you been doing hair?
Over 30 years.
30 years?
Yes.
My God, some of you aren't even 30 years old. My goodness. And how about you, Shendonna?
Let's see. Full time, over 20.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you've seen a lot.
Yes.
You've seen a lot. So the first thing I want to do, I want you to fill in the blank, okay? Hair is
My life.
my life. Hair is
My passion.
my passion. See, that's good to know because for someone who comes to a hairstylist and is not a hairstylist, we want to know that it's your life and it's your passion because we're trusting you with our hair. You know what I'm saying? And for some of us, especially for some Black women, when we come to the salon, that's the only therapy we can afford. And for those of you who don't understand the salon experience for the woman of color, for the Black woman especially, okay? It's like a whole thing when you come to the salon. You might get your hair done. You might get sold some jewelry. You might get some food. It's a whole experience. But the trust that you have to have with your stylist is amazing. So that's so powerful. And Clauzelle, you've been doing hair for 30 years. And so, like I said, I know you have seen a lot. You've seen a lot. Let me ask both of you, when you're thinking about your clients, and then for the 2 of you yourself, okay, we funny style with our hair, right?
Yes.
What are some things that women don't do because they're thinking about their hair? What do you think, Clauzelle? What are some things?
Well, for sure, water. People stay away from much moist water as possible. Yeah, water.
Like, you mean swimming?
Yeah, swimming, rain, moist, anything. Like even the morning dew.
Okay, really?
Yes,
Get out. I never
because it
thought about that.
changes. Yes.
Wow. Okay. What about
Yeah.
you, Shendonna? What are some things?
Working out.
Oh, so that's the excuse now.
Oh yes, honey.
tell
That
me,
is
tell
the
me what
excuse.
does it have to do with it?
Well, when they sweat,
Mm-hmm.
their hair gets moisture,
Mm-hmm.
and so with that moisture is reversion.
Oh.
And if they can't do it at home,
Okay.
then they're like, well, what am I supposed to do? So we have that client that comes on a Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll work out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So she'll have her hair for the work week. So
Wow. Wow. I never thought about that as far as now, all of us can relate to, we're not, if we just got our hair done, whether we're wearing natural hair or braids or protective styles, we're not getting in the water. Okay. We're just not going to do it that day. Right. I want to talk about now the relationship between the stylist and the client. The power of the beauty shop. Come on, Shendonna, talk to us about what are some of the relationships that you've observed and fostered? Because really and truly, I know you hear some stuff that you may not really want to hear about. Talk to us about that relationship.
This is true. These are relationships that we're building.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, a lot of people, we're the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
We probably know more about that client than sometimes their family
Mm-hmm.
or even their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
We know
Wow.
the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Right.
the insecurities that they sit with.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're there to help. How do I want to put it? Help just calm that woman down and let her know she can go back into the world and handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's with prayer. Sometimes it's with that good old sister girl, you wrong, you need to get it together.
Yes.
It's that conversation. So it's that trust, that relationship that you build. I see my clients as my family, as my friends. So I don't let just anybody sit in my chair.
All right.
So there's a vetting process with me. I do consultations prior to service. And if we don't fit on that consultation, then chances are.
Ladies, did you know you were being vetted? Did you know you were being vetted before you sat at Shendonna's hair? My God. Okay. That's powerful, though. What about you, Clauzelle? The relationship that you have, that you build with your clients?
My relationship really honestly starts before they get in my chair.
Mm.
Because I'm a praying woman and my energy can only take so much. So by the time they get in my chair, I know I prayed for you and you prayed for me.
Yes.
So when we meet, we knew we was an answered prayer for each other.
Powerful.
Because they needed what I have to give and I
Yes.
need the blessing that they have to give me.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. You touched on insecurities, and all of us sisters have some kind of insecurities. And when you start talking about our hair, that's a whole nother level of what? Okay. So when we think about those insecurities, what are the most, like the top, let's just say the top 3 insecurities that women have? And I'm going to say specifically about natural hair for Clauzelle, because I know that is your specialty. And then for hair, by the way, Shendonna is a certified trichologist, and we're going to learn what that's about. All right. So what are some insecurities that women have about their hair, Clauzelle?
Well, for sure, one of them is the thinning.
Thinning.
Thinning is one.
Okay.
And some color pigment changing.
Talk-
Can't handle the grays coming
Oh,
in.
girl. Yes.
It's hard for us to do that.
Speak plainly. She's talking about gray hair, ladies. He's talking about color pigment. I'm like, what? No, you gray? Yes, I'm
Yes.
here for that. Okay.
Yes.
Go
And
ahead.
also,
I'm sorry.
the different textures,
Okay.
so,
And
yes.
textures. So we're
Yes.
going to get into that because I need y'all to hit me and the sisters and brothers who might be watching to this hair typing situation. Okay. All right. So yes. So those are some real insecurities that we do have. I think that some of it might come from, tradition and history and myths. I talked about myths, in the opening. I said, there are some myths like, we hear this thing. Is there such thing as good hair and bad hair? I don't know if we want to go down that road right now, but is there such thing as good hair, bad hair? Is there bad hair? Let's start there. Is there any such thing, Shendonna, as bad hair?
There's a such thing as textured hair. There's different textures type of hair.
Okay, let's talk.
You have your fine, you have your wavy, you have your curly, you have your coarse, your overly curly hair. That's what we've learned in school, right?
Okay.
So I don't subscribe to the 4B, 4A, B, C, D, whatever they call it. I don't subscribe to it because that's not what we were taught textbook.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you have some people who have more challenges than others.
Okay.
But I look at hair as fabric. You don't treat silk like you would treat wool or cotton.
Oh,
right?
That's good. Wait.
Wait.
That's good. That is so good.
True.
She looks at hair like fabric.
It's fabric.
I've never heard that said before. That's powerful. So
Wonderful.
continue. So
go ahead. It's interesting because I did some training a couple of years ago, and I was like, and I had that aha moment too. So I was like, oh wow, that's right. So you look at it as fabric. Silk is very fine and delicate, right? Wool, you can do a little bit more to it. I mean, to it. It's a little tougher process. Linen, you have to be very delicate with that as well because if you iron it, you can starch it if you don't have it on the right temperature, right?
Wow.
Correct.
So you have, it's just with everybody's hair, different hair types. You have to treat that hair accordingly.
Okay.
Right?
That's it.
That's powerful. I love that. Ladies, don't forget that. Now, Clauzelle, you have been locking your hair for how long? Now, I've known you when you had them down to here, and then you did a chop, and now you're starting all over. But
Correct.
what made you want to start locking your hair?
Honestly, conversation with God. I was tired of the pain I was feeling with the comb. I'm very tender-headed.
Okay.
So I said, you know what, Lord, what am I supposed to do? And he said, locks. I said, no. And then I suffered that year when I said no. And then I went back. I said, I have to lock my hair. And then it's been a journey for 13 years now.
Wow.
Doing extensions and braids, I was like, Lord, what can I do with my hair? And I heard locks. I was like, no, I can't do locks. Locks is not me. I'm not ready. But then I did my locks a year after I asked the questions. Once I said, okay, I'll do the locks, like, okay. And I just let my hair start locking. It has given me the best feeling in the world with my hair.
Wow. Have you ever experienced hair shaming? By that meaning, because you wear locks, if you show up at a certain event, or if you are in a space where people that don't wear locks, have they ever shamed you for your locks over the years?
Family starts there.
Wow.
I had my own blood tell me, nobody want to talk to you. You have the funny hair. I'm like,
wow.
this happens. It's okay.
Wow.
And I'm the only one in my family with this lock.
Wow.
So, yes, everywhere I go through that change.
Yeah, this is one of the things that we wanted to deal with, with the Crown Act and how the state of California, with the help of Supervisor Mitchell, allowed that there's now a ban against hair discrimination in the workplace and in the marketplace. But I love to think about coming to the salon a lot, because when we come there, we can let our hair down, so to speak. We really, and I think that's what you get. And you know what's so funny? These two women, beautiful as they are, they're very soft-spoken. And that's what a therapist is. A therapist don't yell at you. And I think that I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking that comes from you being able to listen. And I love that. So look, we're going to take a quick break. And here at Sisters on Sacred Grounds, we drink coffee. We love coffee. It's all about the grounds for us. So if you're watching us, take a moment, grab a cup of coffee, and we'll be right back. Did you know that research shows Black women score higher on self-esteem than women of other ethnicities? That might be surprising given the long history of discrimination and inequality that we faced, but maybe it's due to the strength of our ancestors who raised us to be resilient and pushed us to succeed despite numerous hurdles. Today's Black women also think more positively about their appearance, embracing our natural beauty, hair, and celebrating our curves, which we've been doing long before body acceptance became a fashionable marketing campaign or a hashtag. And that's today's coffee break.
I'm Emmanuel Thomas, and I am so excited to say that this episode of Sisters on Sacred Ground is being brought to you by the Thomas Firm.
Welcome back, everybody. We are having a great conversation here. We're talking about our hair. And listen, for those of you who don't understand the hair of a Black woman, one thing we do not want you to do is what?
Don't touch my
Don't touch our hair. Now, you know why I've been dying to say this, right? Because, listen, I've had an experience with this. And that really, as I shared before, was the reason that we're doing this show. I had an experience of going into the restroom, and a Caucasian lady, two of them, came in. I'm minding my own business, washing my hands. And before I knew what was going on, she had reached out and said, "Can I touch it? It's beautiful. Can I touch it?" And it shook me so much because I had heard this has happened before, but never had it happen to me. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the way that I reacted in the moment, probably wasn't the way I would have reacted if I had time to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So those of you who have ever had this, we would love to hear your hair stories, right? Shoot them to sistersonsacredgrounds.com. We'd love to hear. But ladies, when I think about the time and the effort that you put into our hair, and then some random person just wants to touch it, to me, that's amazing. So, Shendonna, we're thinking about, the work. How many hours does it take to do one person's head?
It depends. I can do a silk press in an hour, or I can do a silk press in 2 hours. It depends on how much hair, the length and the density of the hair.
Okay.
So it just depends on the service that they're getting. So if it's colored, you're going to add another 40 minutes or so to the thing. But the average person in my salon, hour to 2 hours. That's all I got to give you.
2 hours tops, right? 2 hours tops. Clauzelle, you have a whole nother.
Well, that's just for regular service.
Okay.
That's for silk. That's not for extended services.
Okay.
That's just for a regular silk press.
So what would extended services involve?
Relaxer, color, scalp treatments, scalp detoxes, stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about hair care and healthy hair, Shendonna is a trichologist.
Yes.
Tell us, what is that?
So I am a certified trichologist. It means I specialize in hair loss and scalp disorders. So say about 30 million women deal with hair loss a year in the U.S.
Okay.
And so it's really large. It's a large number. And as she was saying earlier about the thinning of the hair and how women feel about their hair.
Yes.
And it's important to us.
Yeah.
And so it starts within. And a lot of people think that they can put all these lotions and potions and oils on their hair and the hair is just going to grow. And it's more to it. It's an internal job. It starts internally. So you got to work from the inside out. That's how your hair grows. It goes from the inside out. It's just not there. So it's a process.
So does it have to do with what we eat? Does it have to do with how we work out?
Absolutely.
All y'all that don't want to work out because you don't want your hair to get wet?
Yeah, that diet. Processed food, we should be kicking those to the curb. Now, look, I love my junk food, but
Mhm.
I know it's not good for me, right? That processed food is not good for
Yes.
us, right? So
Yes.
you got to think about what you're putting in your body. You can't put McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell and think you're getting ready to get some hair to the floor. It just don't work that way. It doesn't. So you just have to focus on what you're really putting in, something that has some nutrients to it. So that's when you'll see a difference. You got to balance that gut. You got to make sure that gut is right.
All right.
Man, a lot
So
of us don't do
that is good. I mean, you're giving us some advice that we can use just for having nothing to do with our hair.
And working out, like you said, it gets that blood flowing. It makes a difference. You got that oxygen, that blood flowing, you got all that stuff flowing through the body. So yeah, it makes a huge difference in what you do.
Fantastic. This is great. Well, Clauzelle, now, you know, you deal with time. You know, like Shendonna said, depends on what gets done to you. What's the longest you've ever spent on one head, and what did you do? What were you doing?
We'll say one head for, we'll say one day. Because I've done clients where they have to return because the style is just that long, which is locks, small locks. But braids, I've done 13 hours on one client. That's a lot of energy.
13 hours.
13 hours. And that's why I said I have to pray for the 13 hours with someone. That's not, there's no way.
Right. Wow.
So yes, it's a calling for sure, for sure.
And that's you alone working on their head. Because we know there are some places that we can go to where you've got two people braiding together.
Right.
But this is you doing what you do, which is fabulous. Okay. Right. So when you are dealing with your clients, y'all, you know, Tracy Ellis Ross said this. She said, like many women, I can trace my own journey of self-acceptance through my hair. But when you're dealing with your clients, what are some of the things that they may try to hide from you, you know, for fear of judgment? Or do they ever try to hide situations from you? Now, I'm talking about your real clients, not just a walk-in, but the ones that you know. How about you, Shendonna?
Now, what do you mean trying to hide? Hide their hair behavior that they were doing at home?
That's because see. Speak on it. And now, they showed up, and this is what they're giving you to work with.
So I have this one client who decides that after I relax and color, she want to go home and color it again, maybe 2 weeks later, because she see 2 grays popping out. And she knows that's a no-no.
Right.
Oh, she don't see this segment.
It's okay. It's all in love.
Right. But you have that client, that you say, okay, this is what I need you to do.
Yes.
This is the hair behavior that I need you to have at home.
Yeah.
Don't do nothing else. This is all I need you to do. And then they go and they flat iron.
But it's part of her journey.
Yeah, her journey. That hair going to be on the floor.
What about you, Clauzelle? Is there anything that, you know, somebody has just shown up and you're like, what? You know, because you can tell if we've been taking, they can tell if we've been taking care of our hair, sisters, when we show up. So let me just ask you this. What's the worst thing you've seen?
Saying that this is not an extension, and it is.
Okay, wait. Okay. Let's speak on that, because I'm not sure what we're
like
what
someone
we're
just literally telling me that this is your own hair, and it's not your own hair. It's extensions. Yeah, some people really want me to believe that their hair is and it's not even human hair, it's synthetic. You wrapped it in extreme. I've seen some serious, unbelievable hairstyles.
So what is going on with that woman? You talked about internally. If I have to sit in your chair, trusting you to do my hair, and I'm not going to be truthful with you about what you see, what's going on with us, you know, because we want to help sisters. See, the whole point of talking about natural hair is so that we can feel good about our natural hair. If you got braids, you got braids.
Right.
If you got a weave, you got a weave. But what's underneath that has to be healthy. And that's why I love this conversation, you know. What's going on
But
that someone would not want you to know the real deal going on with their hair?
I can say everybody's budget is different. And because of the area that I work, there's a lot of low income people that may want something they can't afford.
Okay.
So then they do what they can do, and then they come to you and say, well, I know this is gonna, be a different, price. The people that, like I said, God sent to me, I got you.
Okay.
I could work
Right.
with you and your finance.
Yes. Well. So this is eye opening. Is anybody else's eyes opening? I had no clue that those types of things was happening in these streets. Because again, the point is we want the best for our hair. We've come a long way with natural hair. And on that note, because I think I could really stay right there on that. I want to quickly,
Honesty.
right?
Mhm.
We're going to play a quick game
Okay.
called Fact or Fiction. So I'm going to give you these two cards.
Mm-hmm.
You take one, and you take one.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions as stylists.
Okay.
Remember, 30 years in the business. How many years, Shen?
20.
20
Over
years,
20.
over 20 years. I
Mhm.
mean, this is like, oh my goodness, lots and lots of experience, okay?
Yes.
And some of these will be fun questions, and some are like, really, we want to know, okay? All right, so you answer the question. Hold up, fact or fiction for your camera,
Okay.
all right? Fact or fiction, leave-in conditioners are not good for black hair. Great. Fiction, you're both agreed. All right. Grease is bad for your natural hair.
On the scalp or on the hair?
On the scalp. She says fact, you say fiction.
Oh, I meant this.
All right. Fact, on the scalp, grease is bad for your hair.
You're clogging your follicles.
Because you're clogging your follicles. Ladies, stop the clog. All right? All right. Here we go.
And it has its own oil.
Mm-hmm. Body produces its
Afro
own-
hair is super strong. So keep those braids as tight as you can.
End up with
Okay.
traction on the
All right. All right. How about this one? I can leave my braids or my weave in for at least 5 months because the dirt will help my hair grow.
Not afraid.
Do you know? I've actually heard. Have you heard that?
Of course.
People think.
That's nonsense.
I've experienced it.
Okay, now this one. All right. There are good curls and bad curls. Good hair types and bad hair types. We kind of already talked about that. Good fiction. And then natural hair is hard to maintain. She says fact, you say fiction. Okay, you do more natural hair, right? Then talk to us about it. Tell the sisters, talk to the sisters that have natural hair. Why is it not very hard to maintain?
So let's clarify.
Yes. Mhm.
So you have natural, like I have my hair right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you have lock natural,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
So I'll let you answer.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can say something,
Mhm. Go ahead.
It's to me, it's not hard to take care of your own hair.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's mental
Mm.
because again, nowadays we do have a whole lot more products that we can put in our hair that helps.
Yes.
And back in the day, we may not have had none, but we didn't need any. We just chose to, believe that it was just that hard to not. Like for me, I have tender hair. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe, the hair it's not easy to take care of, but it's not hard either.
I love it. And what did you want to say,
And
Shendonna?
so for me, I say fact because when your hair is natural and when it's wet, it's most fragile, right? And I remember when I started wearing my hair natural, I would like tear through it. And I was losing hair because I didn't know how to treat my hair right.
Right. Yeah.
But I still feel like to me, it's just as much as work as a silk press because I got to put it up and I got to make sure I'm taking care of it, just like I would take care of my hair if my hair was straight.
Yes.
So for me, I just feel like it is. It's his word.
Well, you know what I will say about that for both of you, I agree with both of you. But what I've learned in my hair journey is that if you have information and about how to care for your hair, then it's not as hard as it seems. You can take a simple hairstyle and make it look good. You know what I mean? And so I think that now, you know, with all of the information that we have out there, that we can look up different styles and we can try different things. You know, women are wanting to, they see what they see and they're like, oh, I want that. But not every style fits every person. And you can't do everything. You know, everything you see, you know, you can't do that. But I think for me, as somebody who wears protective styles, it's information. So if I know what to do, sisters, when you know better, you do better, right?
Women make me feel invincible. It's the way that we walk, the way that we talk, our soul, our sway, our grace, our roots. It's our secret language with one another, the way we uplift each other at our best and our worst.
We don't go natural, we return. Natural is where it began.
What would you tell, as we start to close this session, what would you tell a young sister who's just starting to wear her natural hair? What would you tell her about how she should care for her hair?
Well, first of all, I would say embrace your hair. Thank God that you have black hair. And then the more you know your texture, the more you'll love your texture. Don't try to change it to have someone else's texture. Just use what you have and be thankful for what you have.
Right, right. That's beautiful. What about you, Shendonna? What would you tell somebody? Because you made a distinction between you're wearing your natural hair, and a lot of people think that natural hair has a different look, you know. But just like we talked about with the Crown Act, we as Black women, we are still discriminated against for wearing our natural hair the way that it grows out of our scalp, whereas a white woman would never have that conversation, you know? And this is natural, and this is natural, and this is natural. Talk to us, girl.
As she said, embrace what you have. Make sure you're using the products that work for your texture of hair.
Okay.
Make sure you're clarifying your hair at least once a month to remove all that buildup off of it, right? Make sure you're cleaning your combs and your brushes in your scalp each time you wash your hair, because you're just putting that dirt right back in it. So just make sure that you're taking the necessary steps to have good hair behavior.
Fantastic. Now, where can we find you, Shendonna? If somebody wants to find Shenda's hair, how do we follow you? Where do we find you?
So you can follow me at Shenda's Hair. It's at the @ on Instagram at Shen, SHEN _ does, DOES _ hair. And that's on Instagram. And I'm Shendonna, the hairstylist, more on Facebook. And
Excellent.
you can Yelp me or Google me.
All right.
I'm Googleable.
What about you, Clauzelle? How we gonna find you?
Well, I am Phenomenal Hands, but I do work at Locks of Love in Leimert Park under the leadership of Ms. Zipporah. Ms. Zipporah, we'll just call her Ms. Zipporah. And I also am on Instagram, Phenomenal Hands _ salon. And on Facebook, I'm actually just Clauzelle Fredeling, my own name. Thank you.
I love it. Your affirmations were so powerful in the beginning. And here at Sisters on Sacred Grounds, we like to close with an affirmation because we want women, like you said, embrace their real self, come bring their authentic self to the table. And the affirmation for the soul today, has to do with our hair. And so, sisters, we say to you, your hair is your life. Your hair is your passion. And your hair is the thing that God gave you that makes you uniquely you. So wear it with pride. We thank you for joining us today. We thank you for having the conversation with us, and we hope to see you soon. Stay well, stay beautiful, and be safe. See you next time on Sisters at Sacred Grounds. Bye.
Bye.